Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. K. Anil Kumar, Assistant Professor, Discipline of Anthropology, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. Today we'll discuss about the module Tribe and its problematic nature from the paper Tribal Cultures of India. So students, let us see what we are going to learn in this module. We are going to learn the meaning and definition of the term tribe, theoretical and conceptual development of the term tribe, the concept of tribe in India, and tribe and its problematic nature with a special reference to India. So, defining the concept of tribe has conceptual as well as empirical problems for the academician. The concept of tribe has transferred traverse a long academic intellectual history in anthropology. In fact, many scholars consider the term tribe synonymously or synonymous with the development of anthropology as a specialized discipline which focused primarily on the study of primitive, remote, isolated, and small scale societies. The word tribe in medieval Europe loosely referred to a group of people maintaining close contact with each other and claiming a descent from a common ancestors. Nevertheless, it also gained notoriety for its assumed barbarous condition, amorphous and apolitical state as opposed to the centralized authority and city-state political organization inherited as a part of Roman Empire. The term tribe is considered derogatory due to its association with savagery, barbarism, and primitiveness. The inheritance of the intellectual concept of tribe by the early Victorian thinkers propping the conceptual development in anthropology followed the same analogy where European society was seen as the pinnacle of civilization and technologically advancement as opposed to the primitive, barbarous, and technologically inferior societies in Africa and the Orient. In Europe, the region to which anthropology owns its beginning, it was mostly the lawyer philosophers who systematized the concept with the aim of delineate the types of societies in relation to the emergence of different laws, customs, and political institutions underpinning human societies and guiding the functionality of human marriage, family, kinship, and other institutions. Thus, it was specially in the writings of people like Henry S. Maine, J. F. McLennan, J. S. Mills, and Johannes Bachofen, etc., who gave shape to the concept to classify the progression of human societies and cultures on an evolutionary scale, and later in the works of early anthropologists like E.B. Taylor, L.H. Morgan, Robert Louis, Malinowski, and even Pritchard, the term became a common currency in anthropology, influencing the development of anthropological theories and ethnographic methods. Consistent with this, anthropologists like Elman Service and Marshall Sahlins classified human societies on the basis of political organizations such as bands, tribes, chiefdoms, and states. Here, the tribes represented by a political formation based primarily on kinship bonds and segmentary lineage system. However, the term tribe become increasingly complex by as scholars across interdisciplinary boundaries began to attribute both specific and general characteristics to the concept. As such, varying criteria like geographical isolation, marginality, economy, livelihood, language, religion, political organization, territorial integrity, and distance from civilization begin to be identified and to accentuate the understanding of the term tribe. Tribe. The concept of tribe has transferred a long academic and intellectual history in anthropology. In fact, many scholars consider the term tribe synonymous with the development of anthropology as a specialized discipline which focused primarily on the study of primitive, remote, isolated, and small scale societies. The word tribe in medieval Europe loosely referred to as a group of people maintaining close contact with each other and claiming descent from a common ancestors. Nevertheless, it also gained notoriety for its assumed barbarous condition, amorphous and apolitical state as opposed to the centralized authority and a city political organization inherited as a part of the Roman Empire. In fact, the term tribe is also closely associated with what is known as the Dark Age in Europe, a period said to be populated by hordes of kin based warring groups steeped in chaos and barbarity until rescued by the Renaissance and the Enlightenment in Europe, deemed as the age of reason. The inheritance of the intellectual concept of tribe by the early Victorian thinkers, propping in the conceptual development in anthropology, followed the same analogy where European society was seen as the pinnacle of civilization and technological advancement in opposed to the primitive, barbarous and technologically inferior societies in Africa and the Orient. In crux, the development of the concept was shrouded in value judgment and measure of civilizational superiority invented and nurtured by the Western society. Definition of tribe. Anthropologists have defined tribes in varied ways, but if we survey the literature on tribes, some consensus can be arrived at. Broadly speaking, tribes are conceptualized in anthropological literature as isolated or relatively isolated communities having cultural autonomy with a demarcated territory, having a specific dialect, showing relatively simple mode of production, using crude and simple technology, characterized by subsistence economy and absence of monetized economy. It is a group with its own traditional religion, deities, semiotic system, cosmology, rituals, ceremonies and beliefs, characterized by political sovereignty and self-determination, having control over resources at the level of individual and community, sharing the same culture, ethnic identity, history, future aspirations, and where the members have a sense of belongingness to a common stock, which Ralph Linton called as esprit de corps. However, if we understand tribes by all these features, they point toward a particular social stereotype of tribal communities because in reality the communities enlisted as tribes do not possess all the characteristics. For example, Ralph Linton defines tribe as a group of bands occupying a continuous territory or territories and having a feeling of unity deriving from numerous similarities in culture, frequent contact, and a certain community of interest. These characteristics features conjures an image of small group of people isolated in terms of culture, language, and having a different lifestyle in which religion and economy play an very important role along with the politics, but they do not override the cultural values. It is characterized by a communitarian lifestyle with the community well-being taking precedence over individual aspirations, a lifestyle in which the society develops on the availability of local resources. Also, a collective living in which they worship certain gods and goddesses and not comparable with the god and goddesses of great religions, and they have their own religious as well as political leaderships. What is being hinted in this definition is a whole community which is not affected by so-called civilization and mainstream culture. This is way of understanding tribes have created many conceptual problems and ambiguity in the definition of tribes. In India, the term tribe is definitely an exterior category which fails to reflect the indigenous reality. The term tribe is not an indigenous category and lack consensus. Many anthropologists would have reservation using the term tribe. Instead, some have used the term Adivasi, Adim Jati, Anusuchit Jati, Vanvasi, and so on. The tribe is not a universally valid category since the similar group of people whom we call tribe in India are called native Indians in North America, minorities in China, aborigines in Australia, and indigenous people in South America, etc. Even within a particular country, there are different stakeholders who are interested in the study and administration of tribal affairs. There are administrators, census enumerators, planners, and developmental specialists, member of civil societies, and academics, etc. Even among the academics, there are anthropologists, historians, political scientists, sociologists, and social worker, etc. And there is no consensus as to what should be called a tribal society. The problem is even more acute in the case of India due to two fundamental reasons. In India, the criteria to define tribe have changed over the years. In the 1901 census, tribes were identified as those who practice animism. In the 1921 census, the term hill and forest tribe was used, while in the 1931 census, the term primitive